Hi everybody, my name is SJ from Crystal and Currents, and I'm here with you today to just do a little bit of talk about how to really manifest and use the energy coming out of Mercury retrograde. I see so many posts about how to survive Mercury retrograde, what to expect during it, but I have found very little information on what to do after it. So some of the tips and tricks that I've been able to help me manifest a lot of communication issues. So like if there's something that I want to talk about after Mercury retrograde, like I'm definitely not going to do it during Mercury retrograde, but harnessing that energy directly after Mercury retrograde is fantastic. So if you're having communication that you need to do, now this could be in the form of you're just trying to translate some of your psychic correspondences that are coming in and you're having difficulty really grasping what those messages are. The time frame 3 days after Mercury retrograde for me has been very effective for me to really translate those messages that are coming in. They could be visual messages, they could be claircognizant messages where I just feel like I know something but I don't really know how to translate it or how to vocalize what I'm feeling. Or they could be clairaudient messages that you've had coming in. I also absolutely love doing healing sessions in those following 3 days after Mercury retrograde because so much information comes in not only for myself, but also for my clients. So if you can book healing sessions or psychic sessions, tarot readers, any of that stuff directly after Mercury retrograde, you should have great success with what you're trying to find or figure out or heal. So for me, I always like to try to translate my communications that are coming in, and also if like you're going to try to have a job interview or something like that, if you can get it scheduled directly after Mercury retrograde, usually the results are fantastic. One thing though that I've noticed specifically with this Mercury retrograde is that I had a lot of migraines during and actually after. So even today, I'm still feeling the remnants of those migraines just because I feel like messages are still coming in, but when you can't translate them, it kind of just gets stuck and boggled up to stagnant energy. So for me, migraines are still kind of an issue, but I have all of this energy that I don't really know what I should be doing with it. So that's for me, what I've experienced with this one is migraines. So with that, if you're also experiencing migraines during and a little bit afterwards, lepidolite is fantastic to help with that, and you would want to place it right on your third eye. And then along with the lepidolite, what works for me is malachite, but not just any malachite. Malachite that also has chrysocolla. And then what I like to do with these is I would have another piece of the malachite with chrysocolla. I would place the lepidolite on my third eye and the malachite with chrysocolla on each side of my temple area. And then just sit with that for anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes. And it could be during a meditation. It could literally be like while you're in the bathtub, just relaxing. You could do it prior to going to sleep, or you could even fall asleep with them. All of that would be completely fine. And a couple of the other people that I've talked to, what they're experiencing is that they have bursts of energy and then it just kind of dies off. And then they're exhausted. So with that, if you're experiencing those bursts of energy and then kind of that like crash from it, obviously carnelian is always the go-to. But what I've experienced to be better when you're having ups and downs of energy is actually tiger iron with scenic quartz or rutilated quartz. But for the rutilated quartz, I don't know if you can see that, but specifically golden rutiles is what I look for. And I like to place the tiger iron on my sacral chakra, and then I'll place either the rutilated quartz or the scenic quartz on my solar plexus. And that has helped me a lot with the energy crashes as well. And another way that you can utilize these is by doing elixirs. So for me, anytime that I'm having kind of energy issues, I will use crystals in my coffee maker. So literally directly in the water basin, I will put citrine and carnelian, and that's my go-to. I know a lot of other people have had success with hematoid quartz and then also the rutilated quartz in their coffee as well. And you can do this in just water or tea also. I just find it really simple to, even the night before, pop the crystals into the water, and then I'm literally just pressing start to brew the coffee, and I instantly have not only the added energy from the coffee, but also from the crystals themselves. And that has really boosted my energy level. Another thing that you can do is if you take a shower or a bath in the morning, you can use those crystals directly in the water with you. And if you have a shower, you can still utilize this. You would just literally set up almost a grid around the perimeter of your shower. So if I was going to do it specifically for energy, I would try to have carnelian in each of the 4 corners, and then probably a rutilated quartz point or a scenic quartz point directly in the center. Or if you have jewelry, you could actually wear it, and then your necklace is the center of your shower grid. That it would be great. Citrine is another crystal that's fantastic if you're having energy issues. Sorry, I kind of have to cover my face for it to focus. And citrine is also safe to put in any elixirs and to actually ingest as well. Now, with anything that you're going to ingest, I always recommend that you reach out to a medical doctor just to ensure that it's safe with any medications or for your body chemistry, so that you don't have any issues with that. But I have never had issues with either of those. Another one that I'm finding specifically fantastic for this specific retrograde is aragonite. I'm loving the energy of aragonite coming right now, and it's fantastic for me for just getting the motivation and the clarity to know how I want to move forward, not just with my business, but also with personal life, and how I want to move through those kind of waters with that. And I like the aragonite in combination with the hair agate. Hair agate is really great for Mercury retrograde because it's also a combination of, as you can see, a blue and a red agate, which both blue and red agate is also a carnelian. Carnelian is a type of red agate. Blue agate, you probably know blue lace agate. This is not blue lace agate, but it is a blue agate. And it also is fantastic for communication then. So when you work with the hair agate, you're really getting kind of the dual benefits of, you have the carnelian to give you the energy to do what you want to do, but you also have the blue agates that's in combination for you to be able to vocalize what it is that you're trying to do and to get other people maybe on board with what you would like. So I'm loving that one right now during Mercury retrograde as well. Sometimes also when you're receiving a lot of information, the clarity is the portion that's hard. So it's hard for you to get the clarity of how do you translate it. If that's something that you're experiencing, fluorite is always a fantastic go-to for getting clarity or being able to translate any correspondences that you have coming in. And specifically blue or purple fluorite is my go-to in these types of situations. And another stone that I've been really drawn to directly after this Mercury retrograde is cobalite. And it's almost, as you can see, it's like a mirror. So when those images, when I'm working with cobalite come in, it's literally like a mirror where I can almost visualize what I was seeing, and then it comes right back to me, but then I'm able to actually translate the correspondences into how I can use it in this time and space. So cobalite is amazing for that. During Mercury retrograde, everybody probably was working with a lot of dark crystals just to kind of stay grounded and use safety, and you want your electronics to work correctly. So you were probably using a lot of shungite, lodestone, smoky quartz, hematite. Those are all very heavily grounding stones. So sometimes when we work with grounding stones like that for an extended period of time, you can kind of almost bog yourself down to where your energy just really, it's tired and it can't move forward. It doesn't have the energy or the get up and go to do what the next steps are. So if that's something that you're experiencing now where you're just feeling sluggish, the tiredness, all of that's kind of coming in, just lay off of the grounding stones after Mercury retrograde and just move towards something very high vibrational like the citrine or the carnelian or even the hair agates. Just try to kind of bump up the energy level. Tiger iron is great as well. And I'm looking around too. Corona quartz for me is fantastic. It bumps up energy, but in like a soothing manner. Like I feel very calmed while using the Corona quartz, which let me actually grab. You can see this is one of them that I have. And the point, if you have a natural point, it's fantastic if at your solar plexus, if you're really having that like bogged down energy, just take the point and point it directly into your solar plexus. I know you can't see right now, but I'm literally just taking the point and pointing it directly in my solar plexus, which is about 2 inches above your belly button. So it's right in between your heart chakra, which is in the middle of your chest, and your sacral chakra. And just point that quartz right into that area and just sit there and really relax into it. And you should start to kind of feel the energy and the motivation come back. Now, if you use this in combination with something like a carnelian or even tiger iron at the sacral, you'll get the benefits of not just having the motivation, but also knowing the direction, and you'll feel the joyfulness in doing it. It won't feel like a chore if you really balance out those two energies. And as always, if you would like to do a crystal healing session, I'm here as well. So you could reach out at any time and we could go ahead and take a look at your chakras, and we can focus even directly on an energy motivation layout, or if communication is something that you're working on, we could look at communication and clarity.